I'd like to take you back to your days of education. Think back to yourself as a college student, carrying heavy, expensive textbooks, maybe even had a notebook, and right before your final, you lost it, along with all your notes. Well, that's really too bad. That was your reality, and that was my reality. With technology, it only added messiness to this whole cycle, an extra layer of learning management systems, PDFs, email, and I carried on my laptop, and I still had the same textbook and materials. Expensive, decentralized course content. Now imagine, today with StudySoup, an educator can create their course content, put it in one place, and instantly, real-time deliver that to their students. A beautiful experience, like Dropbox. Isn't that amazing? What Jeff and I set out to do was create a reading platform, very simply, that students could access on any device, anywhere. They could annotate, read, and do whatever they need to do. We tested this at UC Santa Barbara. We did it at an econ class through the bookstore. They offer digital and print. 80 out of 100 students chose digital. Now what's really amazing is just 10 weeks later, we had 21 different courses using StudySoup at UC Santa Barbara. So we realized that we had to develop the monetization and course creation platform piece so we could license this to more schools. And that's what we developed, a WordPress-like course creation tool that really lowers the barrier for a course creation for educators. Within a few weeks, we were at the UCLA and the University of Oregon bookstores, and they were leveraging our platform to monetize their materials, and they love it today. The course material market is huge, and it's been growing, and the price has been growing over 600% over the last 30 years. So textbook market today is $12.4 billion, which is a huge number. But the custom digital market is growing 20% year over year, and is at $2.4 billion today, and that's our serviceable addressable market, and we are on the forefront of capturing that. We position ourselves as a custom provider with a WordPress-like format, so it's very easy for any educator to come in and create a course, unlike potentially Inkling, which has enterprise-level tools. We're really for any educator out there. So this is a case study that we have here. At UCLA, we jumped in at 4 courses. The way it works is we license our platform. We call it the land and expand model. It's a very low nominal fee, around $500 a month for an institution to use us, plus 15% on all transactions. So we did 4 courses the first time, then 10 weeks later we did 21 courses, and our goal is to be at around 50% penetration at each campus. We're at 52 campuses today. If we can do that, we'll achieve $3 million within the next 20 months. If we can do that, we'll achieve $30 million in the next 4 years, and these are the customers that think we can do it. We have a lot of support. We're raising $1 million on a convertible note today, and the terms are up for discussion, but what it's going to do is it's going to help us increase our software engineering team and marketing team so that we can penetrate new markets and make you a lot of money at our IPO. Here's some great numbers for you, real quickly. 52 institutions that license our platform today. That's just 12 months after start, and 30 of them signed on 6 months ago. 4,000 students have purchased something on our platform. We have over 150,000 in revenue that have passed through the platform, and these potential distribution channels have talked to us and expressed interest in leveraging our platform. The team is awesome. My background is in EdTech sales, and Jeff worked at Citrix previously to working for StudySoup. I'd like to leave you all with one idea today. Next time you see a student, maybe a child, maybe your child, carrying a heavy backpack, you'll know that what you saw here today with StudySoup will solve that problem forever. Thank you. Questions? Mark, please.
What I was just saying, just basically, can you remind me how much money, you mentioned $150,000 had passed through your platform, but how much money have you guys actually made? And remind me also when you started.
Yes, so we launched the platform 12 months ago. We started generating revenue about 8 months ago with our first 2 schools. So we had 5 schools that generated $35,000 for us. Since then, we've had around 40 sign up for this fall. Alan, please.
Sure, you mentioned that you already have 52 institutions as customers, but let me help me understand that more deeply. Are you saying that you have convinced 52, you have convinced professors in 52 institutions, or have you convinced 52 deans of academics or heads of IT?
So 40 of those institutions, 3/4 of our sales are to the university bookstore who manages most of the monetizable content currently. We provide a digital platform, let them brand themselves as a custom digital provider on campus. Then we have a few smaller institutions where we do approach the dean and the vice provost. So we just have 2 of those at a very small level. And then we have 12 schools that are through a distribution channel, a distribution partner who actually has 800 different schools that they service. But right now they're just testing it with 12 schools.
Asim, please.
So this is awesome. This is personally of a lot of interest to me. My first startup was actually in EdTech years ago, 10 years ago. So 2 or 3 questions. One, how much friction is there? How much effort does the teacher have to put in to learn this thing, right? We can keep on saying it's very easy, but they gotta do it. Secondly, you said it's SaaS, but how can it be SaaS? It is on iPad, so presumably you have to download some app and do it on that app. And the third thing is anti-copying. Presumably they don't want the students to just copy things from each other, right? Which they will, I guess. And well, there are several other questions, but we have to take that offline, but just these 3 right now.
Sure. So as far as educators learning the platform, we've really turned it into like a drag and drop, copy paste a link format. We have like introductory videos. We haven't had a ton of friction. Occasionally we'll have a professor email us or talk to the bookstore, and all the bookstores are trained to kind of manage their own faculty because they manage that relationship. Copying notes, I'm not too sure. We made the platform secure so students can't share each other's login information. But we have made it collaborative so students can annotate materials together, videos and such. And what was your first question?
SaaS versus.
Oh, SaaS. So we don't have a mobile app. It's all browser-based interaction right now.
So this was all web app, the screenshots we saw?
Yeah, exactly. It's mobile optimized, and our plan is to
HTML5.
Yeah.
Let's switch to feedback. You can take the mic off. We'll start with Eric, please.
Well, nice job. It's probably been 6 or 7 months since the last time you presented, and you've sharpened the pitch and also shifted the focus up just a little bit. Pivoted, yeah, so I think that worked well for you. But still, I think my feedback is the same as it was last time, if I recall it, which is that I would want you to distinguish a little bit more how you separate from your competition, because we've seen a lot of companies that are trying to solve the heavy backpack problem. And I don't think that's really what you're trying to solve in and of itself. There are a lot of companies out there that are trying to create platforms for educators and textbook authors to develop content on the platform, to just transcode content onto the platform. There are platforms that allow existing textbooks to be turned into PDF, that allow collaboration around those PDFs, and all of those solve the heavy backpack problem, right? If I can take an iPad to class. So I don't yet understand how does the content get in your system? What are the copyright issues around that? What do professors have to do? Because if it's really just the bookstore that's choosing, assuming with the right licenses to the copyright, to offer students the ability to buy a hard book or to have the browser-based access to the content, I'm not sure what the professors are needing to do. Are they designing curriculum around this? So a little bit more specificity and a little less focus. The dynamics of throwing books down and stuff are good, but it's more than just a heavy backpack solution, right? And that should come through.
Mark, please.
So I liked it. I liked the presentation. I liked the product. I definitely can envision the day when sort of the heavy backpack will be the walking back and forth to school in 3 feet of snow, 10 miles each way for our generation. So I think you're solving a real problem.
I used to have to wear Google Glass. It was so
I hear Eric and what he's saying about, it's a crowded market, there's a lot of competition. I haven't used any of these products. My supposition is that probably most of them suck. And so what would be interesting, I think your traction is awesome and that's very compelling. I would even spend a little bit more time on that, dig a little bit deeper. But maybe you could also do 2 things to satisfy Eric with respect to the competition. One would be if you could maybe get some quotes or somehow validate from the end user why your product, somebody who's used the other stuff and why yours is better, and then maybe you could even just show us, so to do a quick, and I realize we're only 4 minutes, but a little demo, put the two side by side and just show me how visually the competition, is less compelling than your product.
Lev, please.
Yeah, so clearly you're an excellent communicator. Loved the presentation. In this space, there's a ton of competition, so I agree with what has already been said. Really, you have to focus on how you differentiate, and especially on your delivery model. Didn't hear a lot on there. Also on your go-to-market strategy, I think as Alan talked about, what does it mean to have 52 schools? Just to a potential investor, everybody and their mother might give you a pilot program, but are they paying you? So I think, and you need to talk about your sales model, because it's incredibly hard to sell into this industry, and really gaining adoption is a lot different than the traditional SaaS or web-based business. So.
Asim, please.
So you are obviously one of the best presentations I have seen in last 1 year, right? And I see a hell lot of them. You are very crisp and you got all the things figured out. Having said that, in my mind, the whole textbook problem has always been about the entrenched players and the entrenched processes, right? And that's where Apple kind of ran into a brick wall there, right? I thought 2 years ago, I think Apple had launched something very similar to this. They had electronic books and all that stuff. So I don't know. I love it, what you're doing. It seems your product is very nifty and slick. But in this particular market, I don't think 52 schools is a lot of traction. It sounds a lot, and I think it's a good start. Yeah, that's all really I have to say. There are a lot of entrenched players. I personally don't understand the dynamics of this industry, but I do know that Steve Jobs tried to fix it and it didn't work out.
Al,
Yeah, I think you achieved the real goal of this type of presentation, which is to get enough investors interested in the next meeting, and I think you did a good job doing that. So the next most important step is to help us understand unit cost economics, what traction really looks like, when you say 52 institutions, what's the per institution revenue breakdown, et cetera, and what the growth rates are. And then at the end of the day, the most important thing from an analytics standpoint is the user engagement from the educators. I don't think your customer is the students, which is a little bit of where the differentiation is. We see a lot of these things, and usually they're focusing on the student, and you've kind of picked a different way to address this in the bookstores and maybe the educators themselves. And I'd like to see more about the engagement level for the teachers, for the professors.
Okay. Guys ready to vote?